basketball fans, it's Lys Hayes here, and we are getting ready to shoot another spotlight interview, but this one is a little different. So today, we won't be sitting down with a player or athlete. We'll be sitting down with FAU's new assistant basketball coach, Isaiah Austin, and he'll be giving us some inside scoop on him as a former player and now coaching the FAU basketball team. I'm almost done. I'm spring. Yeah. Scary. It's a little scary.
Gee, I wasn't supposed to sweat, but.
You're right, but you did anyway. Well,
can you give me a check 1 2, check 1 2?
Check 1 2, check 1 2. Am I looking directly at you?
Well,
or you want me to look at the cameras?
kind of just conversation, move back and forth. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, first of all, welcome to paradise.
Thank you.
How's everything been with living in South Florida? It's a huge difference. Texas is similar to the heat and.
No.
No?
No, it's different. Everybody says that it's different.
I would think it's the same.
No, Texas is way hotter. I get out here and people are complaining about like 91. We pray that it's 91 during the summer in Texas. So.
Texas gives me dry heat, but we have very like humid heat.
Yeah. But you guys also have a breeze, the ocean breeze. Like we don't get any of that in Texas.
Okay, well, thank you. Welcome for
Yep.
sitting with us. So my first question for you is, with the season being a couple weeks out, what is the team doing right now as far as conditioning, installing plays, preparation? What is the team doing now?
Right now, I mean, the guys run when, they get punished, but for the most part, we do our conditioning through 5-on-5, just getting up and down, running our sets, memorizing our defensive schemes, just trying to play as much game-like situations as possible.
So I'm curious because you were born and raised in California, and basketball kind of took you different places, like Minnesota for a little bit, and then Texas. How did you end up here at Boca? Like, I know Jack is like coached at Baylor, you played for Baylor, but like, what was that phone call like?
Yeah, you did your research. A lot of people don't know I used to live in Minnesota, actually. But basketball just kind of, takes you wherever the wind blows you, and at the time I was living in Texas coming out of high school, and I had committed to Baylor, and it was actually the same year that Coach Jacobs came to Baylor to be a GA. And while I was there, I just, kind of gravitated towards him because he was my type of guy. He never judged me for my character on the court. I had a couple issues in high school and in college of being coachable and, just kind of egotistical. I was the #1 player in the country, and I just thought that nobody could say anything to me. So I feel like because he was so genuine with me, and because he was the person who always believed in me and never judged me for my actions and always cared for me as a person, as a human, it ended up, our bond ended up getting strong. So when he took the job out here, I was working for the NBA actually still, and I was stationed in Dallas still, and he called me, and it was kind of like I couldn't say no situation. He loves me so much, and I love him so much, and he means so much to me as a man, and his family means so much to me in real life that I just thought it was the perfect idea to come out here.
So, like you said, you played, you worked for the NBA a little bit. I'm curious, like, it seems like obviously former players coach, but it seems like the new wave now, once you finish playing and after a couple years, is more so commentary. They go to the broadcasting side, they go to covering it. How did you, what made you choose coaching after playing and then doing player development at the NBA for a little bit? How did you choose coaching?
I didn't. That's the crazy thing is I never once ever wanted to be a coach. And when I was working for NBA Player Development, I was heading our NBA's coaching development program. So I've always been around the game, and I know the ins and outs of coaching, scheming, scouting, everything that comes with it. And just me having the background that I was as a college player and having to deal with a player like me, I always thought in my mind, I never want to deal with, a young kid who had the same mindset that I had. And it's kind of like, it was something that my wife always told me that I would be great at, and I always kind of swayed away from it. And when Jacobs called me, it was kind of like, okay, I think this is God telling me that I need to actually, do something else and do something that actually just gives me more pleasure. Because working at the league was fun, and it's amazing. You get to work with NBA players and you get to travel all around, but I just didn't get the sense of fulfillment that I get from here. And like here, I get to have the same opportunity to impact a young man's life as Coach Jacobs has impacted mine. And I think that's invaluable.
How has that transition from mentee to mentor, how has that been? Because like you said, you would have never wanted to coach players, especially ones that had like the mindset like you, very like braggadocious or however you would call it. Like, how has that transition been from like now you are the mentor?
It's been fun. I think our guys, first off, let me just say we recruited a great bunch of guys. Like, we got a whole bunch of sweethearts on the team.
Yeah.
Nobody is problematic. Nobody gives us issues. So we're not dealing with that yet. You know, I know eventually we're going to come across somebody who's going to have some issues. You know, and we'll have to be coaches. And you know, the most important job that we have is helping them grow outside of the game of basketball, because everybody knows that you're not going to be able to play this game forever. So. For me, it's been fun. Like, the guys gravitate towards me because of my experience and because of, I'm still only 30, and everybody on our coaching staff is still fairly young. So it's easy to kind of get to know them, on a personal level, because we still like the same things. We have the same interests and everything. But for the most part, I think it's been awesome.
Speaking on players and how you said like everybody's a sweetheart. Trey is one of the players that the whole campus knows to be a sweetheart, to be a stand-up guy. He's also one of the players to only have stayed from that past 2 seasons that was actually playing. How has he been able to kind of gel this new team together and kind of being the most familiar with like FAU culture and pride?
I think it was important for Trey to be here because no matter what we ask of Trey, he buys in. And I think that's one of his best attributes that he brings to the team. He's a great basketball player and he's going to bring us a lot on the court this year, but he's a guy that just buys in. If we ask something of him, he does it without hesitation because he just loves the game of basketball. And he's kind of one of the people who I think has gained the most trust out of us early. Because he trusted Coach Jacobs with his career immediately. Like, he said, I'm not going to leave. This is where I want to be. My fiance's here. And he just said that he wanted to stick it out no matter what. And he said he's going to do whatever it takes to win. So he brings that to the team, and I think he's been doing an awesome job at it.
What would you say has surprised you? What aspects of coaching has surprised you since you've started?
The time.
The time, yeah, definitely a different demand that's being asked.
Definitely the time. When I worked at the league, I was remote. I traveled a lot, but for the most part, I set my own hours. I planned my own meetings. So I made sure that I was able to take my son to school every day, and I got to pick him up every day. And it's like here, I have 7 a.m., sometimes I have 6:30 a.m.s, and then sometimes, I might not get home until 11 p.m. at night. So it's been a transition for me and my whole family. My wife is, she's catching the roughest end of it, but that's why she's my rock and she's my foundation, because she's been holding us down. So it's just something that we're gonna have to get used to, because I plan on doing this now for a long time.
And that's beautiful, and hopefully you're here for a long time, because Florida is the place to be.
Oh, I love it.
It's beautiful. What advice would you have for a player that's done playing and wants to transition into coaching? What advice would you have for a young 20, 21-year-old player that wants to start coaching?
Ask questions. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I think that was the main thing that I learned at the NBA. When I walked into the role as the league fellow, I didn't know anything about basketball. Everybody just knows the teams and the players, but everybody doesn't know the actual departments that have to put everything together. We have to put summer league together. We have to put all-star break together. So just ask questions, and as many questions as you ask, it doesn't mean that you're not knowledgeable, and it doesn't mean that you don't know what you're talking about. It just means that you're curious and you're eager to learn. So I would say the best advice that I can give somebody is just ask questions. Put yourself around people who are in successful positions, and don't be afraid to step into a box that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, because that's the only way you're going to be able to grow.
That's beautiful. Okay, speaking of asking questions, I'm gonna play a quick game with you, okay? So we're gonna play a game of this or that. I don't know if you've heard of that, like this or that. So someone shoots out 2 things to you, chocolate or vanilla. You don't have to explain why you're choosing this or that, but that's your stance on that. So we're gonna play a quick game of that.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna I'm gonna paint a picture. 4 seconds left on the clock. Okay? You're down by 3. You gotta give the ball to someone. Are you giving it to Steph Curry, for people that don't know, or are you giving it to Ray Allen?
Steph Curry.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue that. Okay, I'll leave it there. Okay, Miami's Heat big 3, that's Braun, Wade, Bosh, or Boston's big 3, that's Pierce, Garnett, Allen.
Boston.
How dare you? You are in South Florida.
I'm the biggest Kevin Garnett fan. I wore 21 throughout my whole career because of KG.
Everything has to change. Because you're in South Florida, you
can't.
have to be a Heat fan.
I can't.
You can't like Boston.
That's
here.
where I get my intensity from. Is from Kevin Garnett. I grew up watching Kevin Garnett.
Okay, I'll leave it. It's your selection. Okay, buzzer beater in 7 or a triple-double?
Buzzer beater in 7.
Oh, it's nothing like it. I figured you were gonna say like a triple-double, and I was gonna get so annoyed.
When you asked me the 4-second question, I thought you were gonna ask me like pass the ball to Steph or shoot it yourself. I was gonna say shoot it myself.
What's so funny is I made a joke about that earlier when I was thinking of that. I was just like, why do I feel like he's gonna say keep the ball and just do it for himself?
I trust myself more than I trust everybody. So.
Okay, community gym or community court?
Community gym.
Really? Okay, I have to ask why on that.
I just think that it just brings more camaraderie to the community.
Okay.
I mean, the court, like.
There's something about dogs like are bred on like a court, like a community
but like,
court.
I think the gym, you just have more options. Like there'll be weights, obviously there'll be a court there.
Okay.
So it gives you more options.
I'll leave it. Okay. Draymond Green or Dennis Rodman? I say that because, okay. So you followed, okay, because I was gonna say that based off of like that ruthless, like aggressive, like hit you in the face, keep it pushing.
Yeah.
You go for Dennis, okay.
I'll go Dennis. I love Draymond too, but I go Dennis Rodman.
Okay, and my final one for you is FAU basketball or Memphis basketball?
FAU.
Okay, absolutely. So leaving off with that, any more final questions for FAU basketball fans, the culture, everybody that's waiting for the season to start in the next couple weeks?
No, I don't have any questions, just.
Well, not questions, last thoughts.
Come to the games, lots of threes, lots of dunks, lots of wins. Everything that you guys are asking of us, I promise you'll receive. So.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
We're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How long was that?
Yeah, fast.
That was
So
awesome.
rapid.